Hi everyone, it's that time of the month again, and I have decided just to stick with these videos for the time being, as long as I can think of a subject to talk about. I will keep making these videos just for the time being. I'll just play it by ear and see how we go. I have noticed that the shorts are doing really well, as they always do. And the last video that I made got 5 views. Yeah, it got 5 views, but you know, it's okay. If I've got something to talk about, then I'll talk about it. I either talk about it or I'll write about it. So today what I thought I would do is, I thought that I would go back to the very beginning of my poetry journey. For anyone that is not familiar with how this journey began for me, if you go right back through my videos, but you would really need to go right back to the beginning when I started this channel. I think I did an audio that I explained how this journey began. So I wanted to go over it again today. And what I thought I would do is read you one of the poems from The Madness of Corona, and then read you a poem which I actually wrote a couple of days ago, and hopefully you will be able to see the difference and the improvement in my writing. Hopefully so. So, as I say, if you're not familiar with me, and you don't know the story of how I began writing, I'm going to go over it now. So go back to 2020 when the pandemic started. I think we'll all remember how bad it was back then, and it's something that we hope that we never have to live through again. It was a very difficult time for so many different reasons, and it did put, I would say, a lot of pressure on your mental health particularly. It did for me anyway. I live alone, but I have to say that, you know, the vast majority of the time I will keep myself busy, and loneliness is not an emotion that I feel. But back then, yeah, it was bad, and the lockdowns were particularly bad. I found basically, I don't know about you, how you felt. It's an individual thing, but you know, for £2 you could have slit your throat at that point. I think really it was that bad. So yeah, that's how my poetry journey began. I think I needed an outlet. I needed to get what I was feeling down on paper, just to feel the total, you know, isolation of how I was feeling. I just started writing my words down, and then in that year The Madness of Corona was published by a publishing house. I've gone over this and I've said this many times, and I will keep saying it. As pleased as I was to see my name on the product page, on a product page on Amazon, when I looked at what I'd written, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed, but hey, we've all got to start somewhere, you know. We've all got to start somewhere, and I do have Corona to thank for the stage where I am at now, because the stage that I'm at now is I can't imagine life not writing. To me, it is basically turned into it is a job, but unfortunately it's a job that doesn't provide me with an income. But yeah, I do spend a vast majority of my day now either writing or reading other people's work or editing what I've written. So yeah, I do spend a lot of time on my writing now. And for the amount of effort that I put in daily and weekly, it's still beyond me why I can't sell any books. But you know, the world won't come to an end because I'm not selling any books, and I'm not so highly strung up on it now as I have been in the past. I'm really not. So yeah, that's how the journey began. And I was just like, I looked at it and I thought, yikes, it was a total cringeworthy moment, to be honest. Did I actually write that crap? But I did write that crap, unfortunately. I think I probably gave it, I don't know, maybe gave it about a year or something, and then I just told the publisher to withdraw it. So I don't think it's in circulation anymore, although I do have copies of it for posterity, although no one to pass them down to. But yeah, I do have, I think I've got a few copies, because within the contract you are given so many copies yourself. So after having looked at what I had written and the embarrassment that I felt, and also the disappointment in the for what I paid the publisher, it was just a complete waste of money. I don't recall the publisher ever marketing it, though what I wrote, probably it wouldn't make any difference, but I just thought, what, I can write better, and I'm not willing to pay another publisher. And so I decided to go down the route of self-publishing, which is what I've done since 2021. I have self-published all of my books. The 4 books are out at the moment. The first one was Me and My Shadow, and as I look back on that now, I think probably I was just going for the achievement factor and being able to say, I did it. I did it, because there's people out there that won't even attempt it, and it's not hard. It's self-publishing is not hard at all in any way, shape or form. It's time consuming, but it's not difficult. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. And I would say to anybody, and I said this in the audio when I was talking about self-publishing way back, don't keep your writing in notebooks. Don't keep your writing in notebooks and then 10 years down the line think, I wish I'd self-published. Just do it. Just do it. And make yourself proud. Make yourself proud. You know what I mean? It's all you do is download Kindle Create. That's all you do, and there's more than Amazon now where you can publish. There's all these different sites, so just do it. Don't keep it in notebooks, because the world needs to hear what you've got to say. It really does. So yeah, Me and My Shadow was the first one. The Madness of Corona was all Corona based. It was all Corona based. It was all, consumed with Corona, most of it. There was still some Corona in Me and My Shadow. There was also a lot of stuff written from grief, because I was grieving at the time. But when I look back at that again, as I say, I was just going for the achievement factor, and I think I was also with Once Upon a Time. Those two were not the best, but they still were. They still were an improvement on The Madness of Corona, definitely. I mean, that wouldn't be too hard, because I am going to read you one poem from. The biggest improvement in my writing has come from being among other poets, such as being on Instagram, the writing community on Instagram, and also now being on WordPress and my blog. You do have to raise your bar. You really do have to raise your bar, or you will get left behind. I can still look at my writing, and I can still look at it and think, I'm always surprised when I get comments on WordPress. Yeah, I'm always surprised when I get comments. I think it's like imposter syndrome, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult when you're surrounded by so many outstanding writers. It really is, and you do the comparison thing. You really do. And now I've lost my train of thought completely. I have. I've lost it completely. Oh my god. That's terrible. That is really bad. Going over how I write, or what I write. If you've read my work, you'll know that a lot of it is quite raw. I do draw a lot on my life experiences, but also there is no backstory sometimes. Sometimes I'll just get an idea, and it can be before I go to sleep, or when I'm out, or something will just pop into my head, and that's it. I write it down. My writing process is buying cheap notepads from Poundland. That's my writing process. I scribble it down, I do a rough copy, and then once I'm happy with it, I will feed it into Grammarly, because my punctuation is pretty shit. And if I'm happy with it, then I will fire it onto my blog or Facebook, or make a short out of it. Yeah, that's my writing process. And again, I've lost my train of thought. Oh my god, where's my head at today? I don't know. Yeah, as I say, there's sometimes there is no backstory. Sometimes I can write about if I've got things that are going on sort of in the background, or things I'm thinking about, or perhaps about a certain person I'm thinking about, then I'll write about that. But yeah, a lot of the time there is no backstory. There really isn't. I'm just happy if I can write. Because there's nothing worse than writer's block, as any writer out there will know. There really isn't. Some days I can write more, other days I can write less. It just depends. But I've learned now not to get frustrated if I can't write. just walk away. Even if you just get like one word or a couple of words or maybe a sentence, jot that down, and then you can usually try and, work something into that and hopefully make a poem. And yeah, that's really how I got to where I am now. And yeah, if somebody had told me like 3 years ago that I would have got to where I am now with my writing, I would have said they were crazy, having all these submissions accepted. And as I say, the book thing is, it is what it is, and you can, cry over it and debate about it, and I think the main thing is just to show up and try, and that's all you can do. As long as you show up and try and you give it your all, there's nothing more that you can do, I haven't brought out a book since starting the blog, and I do get, I get views from all over the world, so who knows, this next one, and I am, I've decided that I am. I know I'm a glutton for punishment, but yeah, I've decided that I am. Who knows, this one might be more successful, you just never know. Because I write so much, I find it difficult to sometimes pick the ones that are going to go in a book, but I think I've got them now. I've not like made a start on the manuscript. I've picked the ones, I've shortlisted the ones that I think I want to go in, and I need to go through those and then shortlist it again and come up with the final, the final compilation, and then I will take it from there. This is a long video, so you probably turned off 10 minutes through, and I don't blame you, because you're maybe not interested, maybe you are. So I'm going to read one poem from The Madness of Corona, and then I'm going to read you one that I wrote a couple of days ago, and hopefully you will be able to see, the improvement. So this is from The Madness of Corona, and it's called Mondays. I hate Mondays, don't you? The Boomtown Rats had it right on cue, especially just now with everything so uncertain. Do you dive in with both feet or approach a new week with caution? Corona is still calling the shots, and we're all waiting for it to stop. Normal no longer exists, just endless rules and regulations. Media speculation plus mass hysteria. I really need a holiday. Please get me out of here. All I can say about that poem is, at least it rhymes. That's all I can say. It rhymes, and that's about as good as you can say about that nonsense, And this is one that I wrote a couple of days ago, and it is called, I called this one Broken Trust. Walls of trust are not constructed from indelible ink. Think before you release the words from your mouth. Cracks may appear as the veneer of dishonesty loses its shine. Chinks, you may wish to reconsider your lies before the walls of trust break down. Bricks can be replaced, but broken trust will turn to rubble lying on the ground. So hopefully you can see an improvement. Maybe not. That's the video for this month, guys. I might get more than 5 views on this one, who knows. I think the last Sunday in August is the 27th. Until then, take good care. Bye for now.